Sciatica is awful. And if you were to walk into my physical therapy clinic with sciatic nerve symptoms, this is the exact home exercise routine that I would recommend for you. Because these exercises have been proven to pull that numbness, tingling, or pain out of your leg and out of your hip and help you to feel better fast. It's only going to take us about 10 minutes to get through, and I'm going to lead you through the whole thing. Now, these exercises work best for the two most common causes of sciatica that I treat: a bulged disc and degenerative disc or stenosis. So if you have one of those problems, you're definitely in the right place. However, there's two things that I need you to remember. Number one, all of these exercises should be very comfortable. This is not a no pain, no gain scenario. We have to treat nerves a little differently. So try to keep everything comfortable. And then second, if we do any exercise or activity that causes your symptoms to increase or travel further down your leg, that's a sign that we're stressing the nerve more and we need to avoid that activity. However, if we do an exercise or activity that causes your symptoms to decrease or travel up your leg closer to your hip and into your lower back, that's a sign that we're headed the right direction. That's a sign that that exercise is helping you out. So that being said, let's jump in. I'm going to lay down on my back and we're going to get started with a piriformis stretch. What I want you to do is cross your right leg over your left, grab behind your left leg and pull that knee up into your chest, just until we get a good, comfortable stretch right through the back of the right hip. That piriformis muscle, that's an important hip rotator, gets tight so often in these sciatic symptoms, especially with bulged discs or degenerative discs. And what we want to do is hold for about 20 to 30 seconds, give yourself a break, and then we're going to grab it again. We're going to do this on the right and we're going to do this on the left. If you don't have time, obviously we just want to do it in the one leg or on the one side where those sciatica nerves are, or where those sciatica symptoms are present. Again, about 2 times 30-second holds or about 3 times 20-second holds. The goal is to just get that hip nice and loosened up. And then we're going to repeat over on the other side. Now, I understand that some of you might not be able to get into that position. What we'll do on the other side is I'll show you an alternative stretch. And so what I'm going to do is take my left knee, pull it up towards my chest, but then I'm actually going to pull it up and over towards my right shoulder. And you should feel that a little bit different. It's kind of a different, deeper stretch down here in the hip. Again, trying to target that piriformis muscle to decrease tightness, decrease irritation on the nerve down there. And the same thing, about 2 times 30-second holds, about 3 times 20-second holds. That's a good alternative. However, if you can tolerate it, cross that left ankle over your right knee and then grab behind the right knee and pull. I find that to be a little more effective stretch, but as I just mentioned, we want to try to keep all of these as comfortable as we can. And so if that causes a lot of pain or if that causes an increase in those sciatica symptoms, what we want to do is back off or maybe try that other option to a point where it can be successful for you, to a point where you can do it. Just like that, loosen the hips up. Okay, let's get into, in my opinion, the most effective exercise at relieving those sciatic symptoms. This is going to be sciatic nerve glides. What I want you to do is lay down on your back, and then with your knee bent, we're gonna grab right behind the knee. Pull that knee up towards you till we get a good stretch in your hip. Now, nice and slow, I want you to extend your knee until we get just tightness in the nerve or tightness in the muscle. You're gonna hold it there for a couple of seconds and then slowly return right back down. Now, for some of you, that might not be very much motion at all if your sciatic symptoms are really acute or really flared up. However, for some of you, you might be able to bring it all the way up until we get tight or until we get painful. And again, we're gonna hold for a couple of seconds and then come right back down. Your goal should be to go a little further each time. So each rep, we take that up a little bit higher as we become more and more tolerant to this. This exercise, this is probably one of my favorites. Again, the idea here is that we're decreasing tension on the nerve. We're trying to move it through. Now, for those of you who can get all the way up here, let's add one more step to this. Pull your toe towards you as far as you can go, and then point it up at the ceiling. And so if you can, take it all the way up as high as you can, and then we can add some ankle pumps to it. And that's just a way to enhance that glide or enhance that stretch in the nerve. And then we would do about 10 of those and then come right back down. And so again, if you're just beginning, maybe it's only right here and then come back down. If you're a little more advanced or a little more tolerant to this, you're gonna come up higher and then we're gonna pump at the ankle. And again, about 10 or so, 15 reps. We just don't want to, again, make that nerve mad. And so I've got a 2-minute timer counting down on this one, and just spend some time, just go nice and easy, keep it comfortable. And hopefully what we feel is when you're done with this, we've got some centralization that's occurred, or we've pulled those symptoms kind of up closer to your back, closer to your backside. The next thing that I want to do is let's get into some decompression. And so what that looks like, I want you to come to the edge of your bed, put a pillow down on it. Sometimes that keeps it a little more comfortable on your hips, and then just lean over your bed. I'm gonna hit start on a 1-minute timer on this. Lean over your bed and bend your knees. And what you'll feel there is the weight of your legs and the weight of your hips creates this nice traction sensation in your back. Basically, it pulls on your vertebrae and it pulls on your lower back to create a little separation between those. This is great, like I had mentioned in the intro to this video, this is great for bulged disc. This is also great for sciatica. Anything that we can do to decompress the spine feels really, really great, or is really good for that area. And again, we've got a 1-minute timer counting down on this. You can kind of straighten your legs out and take some of the pressure off, but most people, they're like, oh, can I just stay here all day, because that feels really good. If you're interested in learning more about decompression, I've actually got a whole video about this. There's a couple of different methods that I like to decompress your lower back. What I'll do is I'll link that in the description, and then I'll also link to that at the end of this video. Okay, and so there is a 1-minute timer for that one. Come up out of that nice and slow, and then we're gonna stand up again. Okay, up next, this is where things get a little tricky for a video like this, because if you have a bulged disc, I'm going to treat that differently than a degenerative disc. And so let's bring in a split screen. On one side, we're going to do a cobra pose for a bulged disc, and on the other side, we're going to do a prayer stretch or a child's pose for degenerative disc. And so I'll hit a 1-minute timer. And so on the one side, you'll see that we've got the cobra pose. I want you to prop onto your elbows, lay down on your stomach, prop onto your elbows. If you can, even push up onto your hands until it's just a comfortable stretch in your back. We're gonna hold that for 5 to 10 seconds and then come back down out of that. Conversely, if you have the degenerative disc or the stenosis problem, you'll see the prayer stretch as I'm down on all fours, and then I'm going to sit down on my heels, rounding my back in the other direction until a nice comfortable stretch is appreciated. And then again, I would hold that for about 10 seconds, come back up out of it, and then get back down into that stretch again. For those of you who have that bulge disc problem, typically they respond better to extension exercises like the cobra pose to put the bulge disc material back where it needs to be. For those of you who have the stenosis problem, they respond better to the flexion exercises that actually open up the spinal cord and decrease pressure on the nerve in that way. And so one of those two exercises should be good for you. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure book, right? The last thing that we're going to do is some core strengthening exercises. We've done all these things to loosen up your back and to decrease pain and decrease sciatica symptoms. Let's now stabilize that way with two of my favorite core strengthening exercises. The first one's going to be bridges. Lay down on your back with both knees bent. What I want you to do is contract your glutes to lift your hips up towards the ceiling as high as you can comfortably go. Hold 1, 2, 3 seconds, and then return right back down to the starting position. Now again, if you have the degenerative disc condition, the higher you go on this, the more that has potential to cause pain. So please keep that in mind. We want to go just up right to the point of pain, or as high as we can go comfortably, or as high as we can go without pain or without reproduction of those symptoms. This is one of my favorite exercises, no equipment required. You can do this anywhere. You can do this right at home, in your living room, in your bedroom. And it's a great way that we can actually train glutes and lower back muscles together. Those glutes in your hips and those lower back, those spinal erectors, they love to work together. This is a great way that we can train them together with zero equipment required. Up at the top, you're really focusing on contracting those glutes. So squeeze your butt together up at the top, hold 1, 2, 3, and then come right back down. And we're going to be doing this one for 2 minutes. Up nice and slow, and then right back down. And so it looks just like that. Core strength is actually one of the best things that you can do to treat your lower back pain and to treat your sciatica pain. A strong core makes a more stable vertebrae. The more stable your vertebrae, typically the better it is at handling pain and avoiding pain and just functioning better overall. So we've just got a few seconds left in this. You should feel that starting to light up the glutes a little bit. The hamstrings, the muscles down the back of your leg are probably feeling it. But again, the idea is that we want to contract the glutes with each repetition, and that's what we're using to lift our hips up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1, looks just like that. Now what we want to do is another one of my favorite core exercises. This is going to be the one that we finish with. This is going to be a bird dog. And so we're going to get down on all fours. My hands are below my shoulders, my knees are below my hips. I'm going to extend my left arm and my right legs. Left arm goes straight out, right leg goes straight back, and then we're going to alternate right arm straight forward, left leg straight back. Now with this, you'll see that my back is very still and very stable throughout this contraction while I'm doing this exercise. This is one that if there's a lot of wobble to it, or if you feel really insecure, that could be an indication that there is some core weakness going on and that your back does need more strength and that your back does need more stability. And so this is what we're working on right here. I've got a 2-minute timer set on this one. And so we'll go for about another minute. Now, once again, if you came into my physical therapy clinic, these are the home exercises that I'd say, okay, I need you to do these daily. I need you to do these for me between PT sessions as we continue to work on this. So I hope that you get massive benefit from this. I hope that this is something that you can come back and that you can perform regularly, that you can get into these exercises. I wanted to design this video in such a way that all you have to do is push play, follow right along with it. This is something that you can do daily, that I recommend that you do daily, as long as, again, there's no increase in your symptoms. Come back and do this one daily, and hopefully you start to feel and move a lot better with some of these exercises. We've just got about 20 seconds left. Now, if you're interested, I do have a lot of great resources for sciatica here on Tone and Tighten. I mentioned one of them earlier to you, that decompression video, or the video about how to decompress your lower back. Of course, if you're interested in checking that out, 3, 2, 1, just like that. If you're interested in checking that out, you can do that right here. Those nerve glides, one of my favorite exercises. If you want to do those with some more detail, with some more instruction, check out the video right here. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the circle to do that. Hope you feel better and hope to see you back here soon.